Welcome to Healthcare's 8 Million Seniors, a long-term care leadership resource designed to educate, equip, and encourage leaders like you. Our mission is to give you the resources you need to provide more comfortable and healthier outcomes to seniors you care for each and every day. I'm your host, Caleb Long. I'm the Vice President of Marketing at MasVida Health, and today I interview our very own Melissa Reyna. Melissa serves as our Vice President of Customer Success, and the first thing you'll notice about Melissa is her heart for loving and serving people. It has been an absolute joy of mine to lead alongside Melissa and see firsthand the amazing service her team does for our customers. I have no doubt if you're an administrator or an operator, you'll find Melissa's experience and wisdom extremely valuable as you navigate communicating to the seniors you care for and even their loved ones. So without further ado, let's dive in. Hi, Melissa. How are you doing?
Hi, Caleb. I am doing fine. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today. And today the topic is customer success, how to create a thriving customer success team. You're going to share some stories, just some problems you faced and how you've overcome them. And so I'm really excited about this conversation. Thank you for taking the time to have it with me. It's good to have you.
It's my favorite subject.
Well, good. Well, that's great to hear. Since you are the VP of Customer Success, I hope you like it at least a little bit. So just from my experience, Melissa, I've just really enjoyed working with you and just see you run this team. It's been really cool to see and your heart behind it. And I think we're going to get into a little bit of that today.
Yes.
And I know there's a lot to learn from your experience and just from what you've already provided to the MasVida team. I think any administrator, director of nursing, even from an operator standpoint, could really learn from what you have to offer us today. But let's start with, what is your team? What does it look like so that our operators and administrators can go, okay, this is what Melissa's got, this is what I've got, and they can manage expectations, but also maybe even go to their team and look, like, this is what it takes to run a customer success team, and maybe I need this or that, and kind of maybe give them some fodder here. But anyway, what's your team look like?
We are a humbly confident group of workers that come together every day to help meet the needs of our customers. And I can say about 50% of my team is very tenured. I have a couple for sure that are coming up on about 10 years of customer service under their belt in this specific field. So that has been great for me. And I've actually had a few that have followed me from another company to where I'm at now. So that means a lot to me that they were willing to come back and work for me. So.
Well, yeah, that is very cool, Melissa. I mean, I think that's just a testament of your character and your leadership and just how you run things.
So my team is made up of about 7. Okay. And so the way it's divided is I have a supervisor that oversees my customer success team, which is 4. So that's 5. And then I have what we call a programs supervisor. And there's 2 that are tackling that project. And that's simply, we have bundles that we offer our customers. We call them programs. We have wound care therapy. We have oxygen that we can offer. Right. We have maintenance on servicing concentrators. So we have a lot to offer our customers, which makes me so excited. And so between the 2, we all work under one umbrella, but then they have their specific duties. Right.
So, I like the, you talk about our programs because we have our infection prevention program, which is called MVP.
Yes.
And then, and we're total same day delivery in all of Texas, which is, of course, a huge I think a benefit of ours, partnering with us. But we're also now to the entire nation providing wound care, which is really cool. So anybody who's listening to this outside of Texas, right? We don't do DME or infection prevention or any of that right now, but we hope to one day expand to that. But right now we are offering negative pressure wound therapy to the entire U.S. And we're actually partnering with Restorix, and they're a really awesome wound care partner. And so there's a ton of benefits there.
Yes.
So I had to do a little ad plug for MasVida there. We'll get back on the customer success stuff.
No, we're excited about that because I always look at my team like always think of growth. Mm-hmm. How do we grow? I always feel like our sales team should never have an issue trying to gain new customers because of what we are able to offer as a customer success team.
Yeah.
You know, they want to come back. They love speaking to my team. They know them by name.
Oh, that's so good, Melissa. I mean, this idea of even administrators, they could take that and apply that and go, man, when people refer to our facility, right? You never want them to think, oh, but their customer service is tough and they're not responsive. You want them to go, oh my gosh, they're so easy to work with. And so when they're referring a family, which I know there's some legality there, we get that, there's the list, but what a referral, nurse says, or discharge nurse says, verbally is very different than what they put on paper. And so if your home has a great reputation of great customer success, that goes a long way. And same with our business too, right? Whenever our sales team approaches another facility, hey, do you want to do business with us? And they're going to call their friends, right? That do business with MasVida. And I know they'll have nothing but glowing recommendations for working with our awesome customer success team.
That is our goal. And when it falls short, then we work hard to make it right. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. This probably kind of is one aspect, problem solving is one aspect to this next question. But in your experience, what are the key characteristics of a successful customer success team?
I believe one of my main ones is having a people first attitude because we are in a service industry. And so you have to have a heart to serve others because they have to come first. I mean, that's what we do. That's where our joy comes from. Yeah. And then of course, having a heart of empathy and then active listening, because if we're not listening to what the customer needs, then we're not having that attitude of putting them first. How can we show empathy if we're not listening? And then how do we give them that great experience? So I feel like those are my three main characters or ingredients that make us who we are. And I can honestly say that I do see that on all my team members. So
that's awesome.
I know that my customers can see that, hear that, and feel that as well when they call us.
So people first, empathy, and then listen, and then take action. So that's two of our core values here at MasVida in there. And I like the addition to empathy there. No, that's a powerful thing, right? When someone feels, I've heard empathy explained to me is it's not just going, yeah, I get you, but it's almost this emotional connection of true understanding of, I hear you, like we're in this together.
In their shoes. It can sometimes be hard when you're thinking to yourself, I'm just taking this call. So I always encourage my team to make it a little personal and say to yourself, okay, that one day could be my mother, my sister, a family member of mine. And so I want to be as empathetic as I can to try to understand what they're going through so that I can better serve them and not delay anything, because that's really important as well.
Right. No, that's great stuff, Melissa. So you kind of mentioned it, but an online portal, we have the one source ordering portal through MasVida, but what role does technology play in helping you provide better customer success to our customers? What does that look like on a practical sense to use technology and take advantage of it?
Right. For us, I'm really excited. I love our platform that we use. Our portal allows our customer to come in, place their orders at any time, 24 hours, 7 days a week. It comes with key features that allows for easy ordering. So, for example, if I'm entering a patient and I enter their height and weight, then according to that information, it's only going to display beds and different equipment that is associated with the patient's height and weight. So that I'm only looking at what I can order. So it helps speed up the process. I don't have to go through the whole menu. I know what I need. Not only that, but technology has also helped us where when you are choosing a piece of equipment, it also gives you some information. It gives you the dimensions, the size, the weight capacity. So it's very informative as well. And it's really
That's cool.
training purposes, which again allows our team as customer success to be knowledgeable in these things so that we're helping our customer along the way, should they need that extra help.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'm hearing a lot of like customization, I think is the word I would
Correct.
use, is we're using technology to customize the experience, right? And so, and
Yes.
even streamline it too. And because, someone could type in patient weight and height and everything, and then, right, and say they're a bariatric patient, right? And it's not pulling up bariatric beds, it's pulling up all beds, right? I mean, that could end up being a phone call of like, I can't find the bed I'm looking for, and amongst this huge list, and oh, there it is, I see it now, right? And that defeats the point of the portal, right? Is to hopefully eliminate some of your team's demand,
Right.
Time demand to answer calls, and if the portal can solve that problem,
Right.
That's a huge win for you guys, right? That's more time you can spend with someone who actually needs,
Yeah.
more attention.
And what I love about it too, that it's also good for administrators out there, DONs that need reporting. So you go in, it provides a dashboard so you can see what equipment is out, how long it's been out at your facility. It provides, you can pull reports. It also lets you see a pre-bill, so you kind of have an estimation of what you're looking at the end of the month. We can put parameters on there that allows you to have approvals before anything gets through. So there's so many different customizations, as you said, that we can provide for our customer depending on what they need. And we've been able to provide that, again, by listening to what our customers are needing and then being able to provide that for them. So I'm really excited about it.
Okay, so we talked about technology and how how's it playing a role? So what are you doing to stay up to date with the latest tools and trends, right? We have our portal, which is one piece of technology, but what are you doing and with your staff and even yourself to make sure that you're providing, what's considered as the standard for customer success in the industry?
We are listening to our customers. That's the bottom line. Any time that we feel that we are being challenged, especially with growth, that's one of our core values, is innovating continuously. So even within ourselves. So, and it's not only listening to what our customers are needing, but also listening to my team. I'm hearing from my CSRs, this is working, this is not working, it's time to upgrade, so it's a bit of both internal and external customers, because that's how I see it, of us being readily available to serve, right? So we have a great group of IT and operations that also plays a part in making our decisions for what we need. But that's usually how we stay on top of things. What's out there, what's the latest, what's the greatest, and how is it going to help us? Is it going to be beneficial? And then, again, just hearing what the needs are, we're able to go in and upgrade and make sure that we are making the process as smooth and easy as possible for our customer.
That's cool. That's great, Melissa. Great feedback there. So as far as your team collaboration, and your internal customer success team, which this question applies to you specifically, but how do you foster collaboration and communication within your own team? What does that look like on a daily basis?
Well, what we like to do is we consider ourselves kind of like the core of the company. We work hand in hand with sales. So when our sales team is going out there, building relationships with the customers, trying to gain new customers, it's important that we are in the know of all of that. So we know what's coming, we're looking forward to that. We work with our operations to make sure that orders are executed timely. They give us feedback. A lot of times drivers are at the facility, things change. There's, all of a sudden another new order that needs to happen, so that we're in constant communication. So being in constant communication with other departments really helps us stay on top of making sure that our customers get taken care of in a timely fashion. That has a lot to do with it. Knowing where each department is at, how they affect us, how we affect them makes such a big difference in us working smoothly as a whole.
No, that's great. This idea of open loop, right? Of communication, right? This idea that we never stop communicating, right? And you even referred to listening to the customer, right? It's not just communicating with your team, right? Your customer success team, but talking to my team on marketing side. Hey, we need these resources. We need this training. We need this toolkit, right? We're constantly doing that, right, Melissa? And then you're going to sales and then even like you're not just communicating within the team, but you're going to the customer, right? You're listening to them and then taking, you and sales, right? Are the two, divisions that are really interacting with the customer on a daily basis, right? And I guess ops in a sense, right, when we deliver and stuff,
yes, our drivers.
yeah, our drivers are technicians, which is, another really cool, interaction we get with facilities and to help personalize what we do. But right, if there's a problem, right, they're not going to tell the technician. I mean, they may, but at the end of the day, they're going to pick up the phone or they're going to fill out a form online and they're going to call you, right, and say, hey, Melissa, this is a problem. We need help here. And so not only problem solving, but you're logging those problems, reporting it to the teams, right, and saying, hey, guys, you're presenting these problems, right, and communicating this from a customer standpoint. And so, and we even have in our leadership meetings, right, we log, when a case happens, you talk about it, you talk about how we overcame it. And yes. I love it because I really learn a lot about it, of what our customers are struggling with, what they're facing in the industry, and that, it keeps this really open dialogue with the team. And so, from an administrator standpoint, right, when they get a complaint from a family member, when they get a complaint from a resident, right, that they're not keeping that siloed, that they're opening a forum with the team and being transparent of saying, hey, we had this problem. This is how it was addressed. Did we do a good job? Did we not? And then you're growing, right? It's kind of this good conflict that happens within a team.
Yeah, I always look at it like it's a tug of war, sort of. We're pulling, they're pulling, trying to make sure it gets done correctly. But at the end of the day, it's still the patient in the middle. So whether I'm pulling you towards the patient, you're pulling me,
wow.
It's the collaboration of the whole team. And I like that you said that too, because it's also internally, for example, if a CSR drops the ball on one area, we come back, we recap what happened, what could they have done it better. And then as a whole, we want to make sure, that doesn't happen again with anyone else. So then we kind of use that as a learning opportunity. And so in our next little huddle, we'll bring that up. Of course, we don't mention any names, but we kind of just bring that as an example of like a reminder. Hey, if this were to happen, we kind of bring up like a scenario. And so nobody knows that somebody made that mistake, because we don't ever want to call anyone out. But it gives us, again, just another tool to bring into our meeting to just make sure everyone's in the same page, understanding our processes, and then making sure they're being done correctly. So,
yeah, I know. I love that, what you said about the patient being in the middle of the tug of war, right? And I think it really brings a perspective that every decision we make, it affects someone else, right? I mean, and it's this, I think that is, what you described there is continuity of care, right? Ensuring that there is continuity, right? Of like, when we say yes, or, if we get bowed up on the phone, or if we respond well on the phone, right? It either positively or negatively affects the patient at the end of the day. We're not talking to the patient, we're talking to, the administrator, but administrators are, right? And customer success teams and nursing homes, and even big, chains and operators, right? They are talking directly to the patient or a family member, right? And so, so learning and taking those problems they're encountering and then sharing them with the team, collaborating on how we can be better and how we can improve, I think is a valuable lesson there, Melissa. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. So let's talk about some of those challenges, right? We talked about receiving them and doing something with them, but do you have any examples or anything you want to share as far as challenges you've faced and maybe how you've overcome them?
Well, I think the most common challenge that any customer service group will ever face is that unsatisfied customer, or the angry customer, right? which I can honestly say is few in between with us. So I'm very proud of that. And the way that we work those challenges is, again, first of all, by listening. What could we have learned from it? And it really is a team effort. So that's what I can proudly say about MasVida, is that we really do work as a cohesive unit between customer success and operations, which is very key that we work well together. It's just the CSR being in constant communication with that operations manager and the driver. So that has been one way that we have been able to overcome, because it's making sure, it's never assuming, it's knowing where the driver is, knowing when that technician is going to get there, knowing that we put in the adequate notes that are needed to fulfill that order. Another way that we have overcome a lot of the challenges is by the way we are staffed. So, for example, we have respiratory therapists on staff. So whenever there are challenging questions that are related to respiratory, the CSR doesn't have to worry. We know where to guide the customer. And so our respiratory therapists are also available 24/7. So that, again, is key to being available for our customer and being able to provide that great service.
No, I think you brought up another great point, kind of alluding back to collaboration.
Right.
We have respiratory therapists on staff, but they don't just sit down and answer the phones and customer success all day, right? They're at facilities and they're training, and they're also helping keep our equipment safe and clean, and following all protocols and government regulations, right? And like Marcella is, I think, a great example of that, right? But she's available, right? Customer success, one of your reps, to pick up the phone and say, hey, Marcella, we have a patient or an administrator or a nurse that's really struggling with this. Can you help them with this respirator or with this, this fit unit or these supplies? And then Marcella is there to help, and to serve, right? And so I love that collaboration on our team. And I think that's something that, from an administrator standpoint, they could, designate your advocates or your ambassadors for specific areas, right? And whenever they have this designation here, and then they're kind of in a quote unquote on call, right? For whatever issues a customer success rep would face or encounter, right? And they have the confidence then to go, I don't have that answer, but wait one moment, and let me get our respiratory therapist, or let me get our wound care specialist, or let me get, whatever specialist is needed in this moment, a nutritionist, right? And pick up the phone and have confidence that they're going to respond or answer in a timely manner and help solve that patient's. I love that. I love that perspective.
It's also, for example, if a customer we're speaking to one of our respiratory therapists, they don't have to worry about them hanging up, calling our customer success and telling us what is needed to be ordered. Once that conversation happens, the respiratory therapist will reach out to us and let us know, okay, I spoke to Sarah at this facility. After having the conversation, this is what she needs. Place that order for her. So again, giving the customer that time, that extra time back to her. She's not losing any extra time having to call us again. So again, we try to make it as easy as possible. So it's a one-call resolution. That one conversation with them, they don't have to worry again. Our team's speaking with us. We're placing that order. They have nothing to worry about. We're getting them taken care of. So.
That's cool. I love it, Melissa. Absolutely love your perspective on that. Go ahead.
And lastly.
Yes. Yeah. Tell me.
Another way we've been able to combat a lot of this as well is being available for our customers 24/7. And when I say that, I mean that because we do not outsource in the evenings or on the weekends. It's our own team that is rotating, being on call and being available. So whether you're calling us at 10 o'clock in the morning or 10 o'clock at night, you're still going to reach one of our teammates. So, which I think is really, really important, because at the end of the day, you don't have to worry about explaining everything. We would have all our notes updated. We know what's going on, and then we're able to take care of the customer a lot faster. So I know our customers really appreciate that because, again, you come to know and you build those relationships. So eventually they start knowing you by name, and I love that. I love when I can get that call and say, hey, I spoke to Ashley today, or, I spoke with Jennifer. she really helped me. And so I love that. And that's some of the goals that I tell my CSRs, especially when we have a new hire. Hey, the goal is these nurses should know you by name here in a few months and get to know you, and you build and establish those relationships. So that's always fun.
That's awesome. Okay, last question for you, Melissa. What are the key factors that contribute to a company's overall customer success?
Okay, so for me, it's having a good, clear vision of where my team needs to be, where we're going, making sure that we're all focused on one common goal so that we do it and we do it well. I also believe in our core values that the company has established, because you can say that's the beginning of our vision. So our core values are like putting people first, innovating continuously. We have doing the right thing always, listen, then take action, and then faith, build generosity. So we try our best to hire according to these core values. As we're doing our annual evaluations, we want to put our core values into play. So again, our core values are like a common goal and vision that we can all see and try to live by. So that not only in work, but out of work, because again, your character and your personality will always follow you. So I feel like those are some of the key factors that really help keep the team going, keep them encouraged, gives them something to look forward to, right?
Yeah.
Knowing, especially in this industry, that it's always a lot of take, it's always a lot of give. So you don't get a lot of pats on your backs. You don't always get a lot of thank yous because we're in the service industry. And so the expectation is to offer a service. So, but when you put our core values into perspective and you look at the heart of your team, and that everyone is driven by that vision of doing the right thing always, making sure that my vision is that I'm always going to give my best. And where I fall short, hey, my team's going to come and pick me up, and I'm going to learn from that, and I'm going to keep going. So to me, if any company has a clear vision of where they want to go, where they want to be, and if it's clearly defined, because that's going to make a big difference, it's got to be clearly defined. And so one of the ways that we have helped the team is by weekly going over our core values.
Yeah.
So every week we go over our core values over and over and over.
Yeah, we do it company-wide.
Them. We want to instill them and make sure that everybody understands that we're not just saying these words. We want to live by them. It's going to make a big difference. If I know, Caleb, that you're doing the right thing always because you have put that core value, and you know that I'm trying my best to do the right thing always, then it's just going to make for a better day when we come and work together.
Yeah. Wow, that's a really cool perspective there, Melissa. I mean, especially do the right thing always. I think it's one of my favorite core values that we have, and even Josh, our CEO, in leadership yesterday. I just loved that moment of we were trying to overcome this tough decision for our employees here, and Josh just goes, "Whoa, what is the right thing to do, guys?" Right? Because we were thinking efficiency, we're thinking cost savings, we're thinking effective, which are all great things in themselves, right? But he wanted to make sure at the end of the day, are we doing it because it's the easy thing, or are we doing it because it's the best and the right thing to do, And when you're hiring around that, when you're instilling it, right, people who don't hold those core values, they naturally don't fit in your team, right? And they naturally don't really want to stay either, right? Sure. And so those people are, found out is not really the best way to present that, because we're not trying to hunt you down and fire you or anything like that. But this idea of it creates a solid culture, it creates a consistent culture, and then that of course resonates and flows into our interactions with our customers. So I absolutely love that. Absolutely love it.
And what we've done is that we allow everybody to present on the core value. We want to hear what it means to everyone. So we've had our technicians participate and share with us what it means to them. managers, so everyone, no matter what title you hold, we want to hear from everybody. And that's another key factor too in being a successful company is hearing everyone that plays a role in your company. It's not just corporate, it's everybody that's out there that's touching the customer, in some way, form, or fashion. So I pride myself in that. I love that we include everyone. I love hearing from everybody because it just, wow, I never saw it that way. Like today, I heard somebody talking about faith-filled generosity and what it meant to them, and that was their favorite core value. And just hearing his perspective was like, wow, I never looked at it that way. So it helps encourage one another. It makes people feel like they're part of the team, the big team, which is all of us. So even though we all have our individual departments, I love that we come together once a week to make sure that everybody is feeling and knowing that, well, you may be a small piece of the puzzle. We come all together to make it better each week. And so that is one of the overall key factors I feel for any company is helping your team feel appreciated and knowing that they are heard. And that's one small way that we do that here. And so, again, if we can keep our staff happy, then that's going to reflect in the work that they're doing. So I hope that my customers can hear that and feel that whenever they call in to our customer success teammates, because I can assure you we work hard for them, and I work hard for my team, internal and external.
Yeah.
So that's so important.
No, absolutely, Melissa. I mean, it's evident. It's absolutely evident in your team's personality, in your heart, in the way that you present yourself, and I think it's absolutely powerful. Well, thank you, Melissa, so much for joining me today, and thank you to everybody for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this conversation as much as I did, and we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.